Monday. Of course, it's a happy Monday. I believe we went 3-0 on our best bet, 6-2 on the NFL show. I am Kelly Stewart, and this is WagerTalk's Bet on It. Let's bring in Marco D'Angelo and Joe Raineri. Marco! Well, I actually just lied. I just looked. Joe, you pushed your best bet, but it pushes a win. We're going to count it. Pushes a win. We're going to take it. Yep. Had a great weekend in college football and NFL. Marco, I'm going to let you go first. How was your weekend? And tell us what you have currently going on over at WagerTalk.
Well, Kelly, it was a great weekend to say the least, and it was actually my third really stellar weekend. 13-3 for the clients over the weekend, and that brings my last three weekends, Friday through Sunday, to a 33-13 run. And Kelly, I'm bringing back one of the old specials that we used to run all the time, and JD and myself used to come up with it, and you
Marco 69
giggled.
Yes.
Every time. Yes, sir. We're bringing it out, dusting it out.
I love it. Marco 69 is my favorite promo.
It's the best.
Yeah, we're going 7 days. Now, you can buy the 3-day all access for $59. But for $10 more, using promo code MD69, you're going to get 7 days of service from me. That's all of my plays. And we're going to have another 5% play. And we hit our 5% yesterday. It was on the Indianapolis Colts. Thrilling game. It was a little dicey as if they were going to win it outright or not, but they had the point spread covered either way, so we were sitting pretty there. I just didn't want it to go into overtime because I had bad visions if we got to overtime, catching 5.5, which was the closing line on Sunday. But good week all around, and as you know, as soon as the game went final on Saturday, that college show, you got a text from me saying Kansas effing State.
Listen,
I'm sure you were happy as I was.
I was in Detroit with the Barstool Sportsbook. Had a blast. Johnny Detroit, Mrs. Detroit, M2. Who else came down from the office? I think that was pretty much it. We had a great time. We got to watch the games and had an absolute blast. But yes, the highlight of my weekend was the K-State money line. I know I lost my shit a little bit. Oops, can't say that on this show. I just got finished with Money Shots with Megan. I'm used to being able to speak freely. But I kind of lost it a little bit on Marco. Did another show with Dave Koken and Adam Trigger. Adam's like, Kelly, you know this is a K-State play. Like, stop being angry about the Tulane game. So thank you to Marco. Thank you to Adam for both pushing me a little bit harder towards my alma mater in that off a game that was a look-ahead spot against an Oklahoma team that doesn't play defense. So very happy with that result. So thank you to Marco for that one. Joe, your weekend. Let's hear about your weekend. You're not going to get blown off the map right now. It is 3 p.m. on the East Coast. I am currently putting up hurricane shutters. I lied. I currently have Brett putting up hurricane shutters so that we can head up north. We're going to go to a Packer game or something fun. There's no reason for me to hang around because if there's no internet on Wednesday, guess who's going to be mad? It's going to be the guy over there on the end.
Oh, me. Okay. Very good. It was and listen, we're already starting to see those rain bands come throwing in here, Cal, so it's going to be a lot of fun for you. Welcome to Florida. But yeah, listen, it'll be here before you know it. It'll be gone. You'll be back, and things will be back to normal. It was a great weekend for us. Yesterday was fantastic. I mean, outside of Houston figuring out ways to lose, we pushed on our best bet. But I told you I was a little too high with Washington and Philadelphia last week on the show, and that proved to be, just that, a little too high at 47.5. So that came in on the under.
Team or whoever they're called doesn't put up any points. I mean, could Carson look any more?
Yep.
Oh, my God, he looked bad.
I was a little high, but I wasn't that high. Like, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, Washington. And we had a great weekend in college as well. I did actually lay points with Minnesota, and much to all of Michigan State fans' chagrin, though, but it turned out to be the right side. Don't sleep on Minnesota this year, guys, in college.
Roll that boat. I got to catch that game while I was purposely not watching the end of the Florida game because I was just just like in a tailspin. I kept hearing the other group of guys that had the 10.5 with me, and I was like, if this game lands 11, Billy Napier is dead to me forever. And they were cheering, so I knew things were going good, but I was like, do not turn around. Just keep watching how bad Sparty's getting blown out. This game is way better for your heart rate. And
it's so true. It's so true. It was good.
I'm glad we all had an amazing weekend. These are the type of shows I love doing, recapping after a fun game, because nobody wants to see me miserable. Let's be honest. Like you guys saw a little bad side of me on Wednesday on the show. Now we're all smiles. Monday Night Football. This one has been on the move. And currently, WagerTalk on screen, if I can get it open because I am behind. We will see that the Dallas Cowboys opened 4.5 in some spots, opened 4 for the Giants, now down to -1. Pretty much across the board. One little elusive offshore has a pick 'em. Total open 40.5, down to 38.5. Some 39 still available if you like the under. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't have a lot in this game. I did Jay Money's show with Hakeem this morning, and we talked about it. I said, can the Cowboys just keep it respectable? Because guess what? Teasers are finally hitting. Like, I got all these legs. I've got the Packers leg, the Broncos leg, the Falcons leg, and the Panthers leg. And guess what? They're all tied to the Dallas Cowboys tonight, plus 8.5. And that makes me pretty nauseous that I need the Cowboys to keep it respectable in the divisional game. You got Brian Dable, 3-0 is on his radar tonight. But in a pick'em type situation, anything can happen. I think Michael Parsons is going to make Danny Dimes have to run for his life tonight. But I am not touching the side. Slight lean towards the under. Obviously, this one's come down. But as we saw last Monday night, when I'm late to the party on the under, I should just stay off the game. Marco, your thoughts on Monday Night Football?
Well, my first thought, Kelly, is all those teasers you got open to Dallas. I hear some buyback on the New York Giants at a pick 'em and have that 8-point middle working for me with 2 garbage teams. That's what I hear. So
I like that, Marco.
like that,
See, every once in a while, I need somebody to be a little rational and say, Kelly, why in the world would you have 5 dimes on the Cowboys tonight for no apparent reason? That's a great idea. Sometimes you are overexposed, whether it's in a parlay, whether it's in a teaser, and it's okay to buy back on that side. But Marco, I have to know, if I'm going to buy back and I'm going to give up potentially some of my profit and or go for a middle, do you think the Giants win this game at home?
I do, Kelly, and here's why. First of all, last week, the world ran to the Cincinnati Bengals. Once word got out, Dak Prescott was out and going to be injured, and you had Cincinnati coming off the gut-wrenching loss to the Steelers, the Super Bowl hangover that first week. You knew that the old injured player theory somehow would find and work its magic, and it did. The inflated line, that line shot up to 7 on the Cowboys. Not only did the Cowboys win, or cover, they won the game outright. Now, what I take away from that is anytime you've heard me talk about the injured player theory, what do I say? We take the injured team in week 1 because everybody plays at a higher level intensity-wise, and maybe the opponent takes them for granted a little bit. Week 2, different story. Now they saw that they could win without the star, so you don't have that intensity level that you had last week. And what's this? It's a division game, so the other team's not going to take them for granted. Plus, they just saw what happened to the Bengals. Now, if we dig deeper to last week's game, you're going to find that they won 20-17, but it was a tale of 2 games. They scored 14 points in the first quarter, did the Cowboys. Why? They surprised Cincinnati. Everybody expected you'd see Zeke up the middle, Zeke to the right, Zeke to the left. They let Cooper Rush throw the football early in that game, and they caught the Bengals with their pants down, pure and simple. Rest of the game, the final 3 quarters of the game, they had 2 field goals. And if you're scoring at home, folks, and this bodes well both for the Giant play and if you're leaning to the under, there's been 8 quarters of football by the Dallas Cowboys. They scored 14 in the first quarter last week. In the other 7 quarters, they have a grand total 3 field goals, folks. That's it. Remember, this is a team not only without Dak Prescott, but remember, the big playmaker's not on this team anymore. He resides in Cleveland now, Amari Cooper. And Amari Cooper was so important to this offense, whether he was getting the football or not, because what he did when he was on the field, if he went downfield, it opened up the middle for the other receivers. It also opened the running lanes for Zeke. He drew the double teams, made CeeDee Lamb a better receiver, made Michael Gallup a better receiver. Gallup's been injured so far this season, so hasn't been a factor. But one of those guys have to step up and be the man now and draw those double teams. I just don't see this Cowboy offense going at full pace here against the Giants. Not that the Giants have a great defense, just that the Cowboys offense is inefficient. And to be honest, the Giants defense hasn't played that bad. They held Tennessee to 21 points, or 20 points, and 16 last week to Carolina. Give me the Giants. I'm taking them. And who would have ever thunk it? We could possibly be saying one of the few remaining undefeated teams is the New York Football Giants. Go ahead and give me the Giants for Monday Night Football.
Marco, I don't disagree with anything you just said. Joe, I have some concerns, though, and that is that the defense for the Cowboys has made life pretty miserable for the first two quarterbacks that they've played. I know Micah Parsons is questionable tonight, but can the Giants protect Danny Dimes? Does he have the ability to make some plays? I'm not sold on this offense just as of yet. Sure, I think Saquon should probably run the ball. That's why I am leaning towards the under tonight. I think this is going to be not as ugly as last night, but very close.
They are, and here's the problem, Cal. Yes, Parsons is the next coming of Lawrence Taylor. Let's be realistic. This kid has been absolutely phenomenal, and it's ironic that he's going to be here on a Monday night in MetLife there, where LT was pretty ferocious in his day. I hope he goes, but it doesn't excuse the fact of how ridiculously pathetic this Giants offense is, especially from explosive plays. They have the league's less, I believe, 3% of their plays thus far. Only 3% have gone for 20 or more yards here, Cal. So the Giants aren't going to come out and light this. I don't care whether Parsons are playing or not. They're not an offense that is going to light teams up with these big, quick-hitting plays. Danny Dimes has been an absolute cash cow at home. To the under, 15 out of 20 to the under for Danny Dimes. We already know about the primetime unders, right? We know September unders. We know unders have hit all for 3 weeks now on a ridiculous clip. I just don't know how we get to 40 points in this game. I really don't. And it's obviously been bet down now. What are we at? 38 and a half, 39, somewhere in that ballpark. I don't see it coming, and Marco's absolutely correct. They scored 3 points in the second half last week, that being the Dallas Cowboys with Cooper Rush. CeeDee Lamb, nowhere to be found. Hope they find him. If you're back in the Cowboys here tonight, the Giants still don't have Leonard Williams. He's hurt, so there are some question marks on both sides. It's a tough game to go at and pick a side because I think the total is really where the value is, if any, is left. And so I'm going to go a team total. I would go full game under. I don't love the game because I think both quarterbacks are a toss-up, which is hilarious given the fact that Danny Dimes is the starter and the franchise quarterback for the Giants. But I've got team totals of 19 and a half, 18 and a half, somewhere in that ballpark, and that's where I'm looking. I think the Giants are going to have a hard time doing anything but kicking field goals. I do like Dallas maybe to edge them out in a last-minute field goal, but I'm looking at the under, and I am looking at team totals under in this one. 19 and a half, I think, is where the Giants are at, and I'm going under that for the full game, Kel.
Joe, Megan and I just did money shots, and she and I were talking about the first half under, and that is where I thought you'd be going. Can I get your thoughts on the under 19 and a half?
Yeah, I'm there. I mean, both unders are going to be there. We saw the adjustments and what they did to Cooper Rush last week. We have seen, how much more do we need to see of Danny Dimes to realize if it's Saquon Barkley or not? They don't trust Danny Dimes with 5-step drops and to start slinging it around. We're not going to get that. It's going to be very slow. It's going to be very methodical. And I'll give you an even crazier number. You ready for this? How about first half team totals? 9.5 for both, Cal. 9.5. And I don't see the Giants getting to 9.5. So I'm going to take their team total under in the first half and under full game. I think the Cowboys have more weapons. I think the Cowboys will be ready for the Giants here tonight. Danny Dimes, I don't know if there's a prop on it, Cal. Can I get an interception? What is it, more than a half? Danny Dimes, INT, more than 1.5. I'm in for that, too.
Yeah, you're going to be laying at least 120, if not a little bit higher.
Yeah, absolutely.
For that half. But
alternate line. +3.
I think it's an absolutely atrocious game, but I don't think anything can be uglier than what we saw last night in Denver. No. Marco, please remind everybody what your promo is for this weekend, and if you have any final thoughts on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, that promo to get 7 days for $69 is MD69. And just to chime in on the first half under, the first half under is 19.5. I did Wager Talk today this morning, and that was the play that I gave out on that show.
Yep.
And I mentioned the Giants have been running the football so far this season. 65 rushes through 2 games, and 16 of those rushes have been by Danny Dimes. Daniel Jones has rushed the ball 16 times. So what that does, Kelly, is keeps drives alive for them whenever he has scrambled for plays. And if you're running the football that much, that's chewing up a lot of clock. And as our buddy VR used to say, it's like a heavyweight fight. They're going to come out and they're going to dance around the ring a little bit and fill each other out. That's another reason to look at the under in the first half.
Cal, I got a prop for you. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
This is how bad this game is. You ready? They are listing a prop that says no player scores a touchdown at 48-1. That's how bad this is. And by the way, over a half an interception, -130 right now.
Hey, look who's good at this game. I didn't even have anything open, but I knew. I was like, there's no way.
No.
Daniel Jones is throwing an interception tonight, so good luck to all of you guys that get involved in this one. As always, we appreciate you hanging out with us every single Monday. From Marco, Joe, and myself, we'll see you guys Wednesday. Until then, let's bet on it.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. When all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.